Welcome to Sumba Beach Resort. We're out here with my buddy Vincent. My name is Don Haley.
Yeah, I'm Vincent Sauer.
Cool. So we're going to jump in a little bit about our background as the company EdenGate. So, why was EdenGate founded?
Basically this story started pretty early because my family was deeply involved in real estate in Hungary and Germany already. And so I got basically there, very soon the attachment to all these things. And later after my first company in Germany, I got invited to Northern Cyprus to check out some properties there, and I fell in love with the island back then. The island is not that interesting investment-wise, but it's quite beautiful and close by, so I came there, and this was basically my journey for my own company regarding real estate. And a couple years later, I got invited to Bali and Sumba, and
Rest
this is exactly. So this is where we are.
Very cool. So humble beginnings. Sounds like you've been in real estate for about 5 years, roughly. So why Sumba? Like, why are we here right now? Like, what's the opportunity at hand? And we'll jump in a little bit about your background and family crest and all that as well.
First of all, anybody who heard about Bali probably knows that there's a lot of people coming there. Occupancies are very high for Airbnbs. Mm-hmm. Many people would like to invest there. ROIs are also way higher than in Dubai. Mm-hmm. For example, in Dubai we're talking about 5 to 7% ROI after expenses, which is deemed to be good in Dubai. In Bali, when you're playing your cards right, you can expect between 10 and 20% after expenses. Of course, there's a big range, but it should be at least 10%. So when we're talking about Sumba, then we're talking at least double the ROI of Bali. Why is that? There's a quite and simple explanation. The clientele and the demand here is just very different, also the offers. Most people who come here as a tourist are very high clientele. That means that you will not find here like the typical backpacker or digital nomad, which you find a lot in Bali. So most people coming here are very wealthy entrepreneurs, people like Cristiano Ronaldo, Mark Zuckerberg, very famous actors, Chris Hemsworth. All these people make occasionally vacation in Sumba, in the most luxurious resorts. And since we only have a very few options to choose from, beach access resorts in Sumba, the demand is very high and the prices per night which you can charge is extremely high. Okay. And this is all these super high ROIs come to place. So summarized, we are talking here about double the ROIs than in Bali.
And that's due to high net worth clientele, due to luxury beach access and resorts, because I assume there's probably not a ton of beach resorts on Sumba.
Exactly. So we are one of the very few beach access resorts in Sumba. There's just very few if you look online, also with the luxurious and the facilities which we are offering. And also, of course, Sumba is not really comparable to Bali, when it comes to infrastructure and tourism. Of course, there's way less people coming here. There's not a comparable infrastructure, but this is exactly why the people come here. The people don't come here, for example, like to Bali, for even long-term living or partying or like just having some fun. Mm-hmm. People who are coming here, they come here for stress relief, retreat, just having some nice vacations with their family.
Connect with nature, just really
connecting with nature, just grounding themselves, enjoying privacy, because some of them are very famous and here nobody will disturb them. So here you're deeply connected with nature, also with some local villages you can visit, the many activities you can do here nature-wise, and of course the beautiful resort itself.
Yeah, we were just riding horses right before this.
Exactly. Some locals just caught a huge grouper.
Oh yeah.
So we will be barbecuing today.
Yeah.
Those are the things which we will do in Sumba. So quite a different place.
Yeah, so that's why we're here in Sumba. And so as EdenGate, what are we doing here?
Basically, EdenGate is we are not only marketers or agents. We design the products which we are selling ourselves. So basically we are co-developers. Mm-hmm. We also have got now a very special new project coming up, which will be the first EdenGate owned development, but we will share the details not yet. But basically, we are the co-developers as well for every product which we are offering. So our job is basically to design an exclusive and feasible product which is so attractive that it's basically irresistible not to buy. So of course we're also good sellers, but this is not our task or what we want to do. We basically just, it's a value exchange.
Yeah.
And we make the market researches, we know what the people want, what is interesting, not only emotional wise, but also numbers wise with all the offers, with all that's important, with an investment and also a beachfront villa. And then we come up with the product. We give it some quirks and adjustments, and then it's just so irresistible to buy that, yeah,
Makes
obviously
sense.
we get in touch with all these people, and this is also, I think, the main ingredient to this great success by EdenGate.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned 4 different offers before we jump into you mentioned offers, and we have 4 different offers currently, beachfront offers. So maybe just highlight each one of those briefly, and then also talk a little bit about EdenGate and the family crest values and all of that. Yeah.
Very gladly. So first of all, we positioned ourselves with Arya Properties, our very close partner, and we positioned ourselves on the most feasible islands right now, with the markets still wide open with potential. So first of all, we've got Lombok. Lombok is already very famous next to Bali because a lot of people say that Lombok is basically the Bali which the people imagine.
Yeah.
Because Bali right now, of course, has a lot of issue. It's overcrowded. It's very dirty. The beaches are not so beautiful in Canggu. On the upside, you have good infrastructure, many offers on what to do, amazing restaurants, spas, fitness.
Yeah.
You know this the best.
There's a lot of people, a lot of traffic.
Yeah,
so.
of course. And in Lombok, we've got all the things which made Bali successful. It's still preserved while still being authentic and not overcrowded. So basically, we've got beautiful nature, highly developed roads, very new, even better than in Germany, I've got to say. Everybody who's been in Lombok says the same thing.
Yeah.
Then we've got amazing infrastructure in Kuta. It's basically a mini Canggu, but not overcrowded, not too much traffic, not too dirty. Beautiful beaches.
And the property
close
itself.
to none.
How about talk about the property itself is on the beach, right? One
Exactly.
Of the most beautiful
And
beaches.
No, the special thing, of course, that we've got the beach resort right next to Kuta, to the main area. A beautiful beach. Of course, we've got amazing details there and pictures and all that stuff. And we've got a very luxurious design there, modern, luxurious. Very different to the Sumba design, which is a little bit a mix of luxury and authenticity. There is more the modern, luxurious style. And we are also one of the very few resorts which have beach access. There's right now only one next to us, and it's already a very old development. So
Okay.
there's also very little competition right now because most developers cannot afford to buy beach access land because it's just so expensive.
Yeah.
So this is one of the benefits with working with a really high liquidity partner and who just experienced in this
Yeah, and
area.
I think touching a point on, land ownership, right? Like, I think a differentiator for all of our properties is that we freehold the land, right? So maybe talk a little bit about freehold versus leasehold. So we have freehold on the land and we leasehold to investors. So maybe break that down a little bit.
Exactly. So the people who've been already in touch with Bali properties, they know that they leasehold the land and don't own it fully.
For majority of investments.
For the majority of the investments, you can also
freehold,
own it.
But,
but most of the time you lease it because then the price and the volume becomes way lower. So the ROI rises. Here with the beach resorts, we always offer our investors 80 years of leasehold,
80
which
years.
is
80.
80, which is like a lot more than in Bali.
Yeah.
On average in Bali, you will get between 20 and maybe 30 years leasehold. And mostly also not on the beach. And we are talking way higher prices than also we offer directly at the beach. But this is another topic.
And it's the same offer for all products, right? All of the beach resorts.
Yes,
Lombok.
all the beach resorts, Sumbawa, Lombok, and Sumba. So Sumbawa we also will talk about in a minute. But basically we're talking about 80 years leasehold because the company owns all the lands itself.
Freehold,
Freehold, yeah, exactly. Very very important differentiation. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is already a big benefit as an investor, because now you can also not only think about an investment itself, but you can also think about like, I'm giving this to the next generations, to the grandchildren, etc. For many people, this is a big thing, because we are here to build wealth for the future generations, not only for us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in this case, you can do it.
Beautiful. Let's just highlight a little bit about the family crest that EdenGate is resembling or leaning on as like the foundation, right?
Exactly. So with my family, we have deep roots, and the history goes back over 500 years. And we developed their very deep-rooted family values, which are very much leaning into the Christian values, I'd say, the values which Jesus taught, which I think most people agree upon, or think that these values should be represented in most of humans. So this is also representing of us and how we work with our philosophy, and also what we expect in our partners. So we got to the point, of course, that we have the luxury of choosing with whom we are working and not working. So of course for us it's also very important that we somehow stay true to ourselves, and sitting on a table with people that are somewhat also have similar values, at least, because in business there's sometimes situations where you get offered maybe a very great deal, but you can feel that there's not a good gut feeling about it, or not right, or maybe not the right partner. Regarding the occupancy and the daily rates, this is quite cool because we already got the hard numbers. This resort is being booked for these numbers, and these numbers are the following. So basically the occupancy, we expect them to be in the first 2 years around almost 100%. We are still calculating 80%, but almost 100%, because we have a little bit less units available for the first year, because not all will be finished.
But it's most of them are already finished or close to being finished. Yeah.
Exactly. So the offers are relatively limited, and also our direct competitors are already cooperating with us, because in high season they've got over 100% occupancy. So they are sending us over all the tourists. They will get their commission, and we will do events together, cooking shows. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up. So regarding the daily rates, the 1-bedroom villa is already renting out for currently 250 euros a night, but we're calculating with 200 euros. For 200 euros, when you calculate 80% occupancy and deduct 50% costs, which are also very conservative, we are looking at around 2,500 euros a month net cash flow
for
the 1-bedroom villa,
yeah,
which is slightly above 100,000 euros.
Okay.
So we're talking here well over 20% ROI
per year. Yeah.
Conservatively calculated.
Yeah.
For the 2-bedroom villa with the same occupancy, we're talking about 350 euros a night. Conservatively, right now they are rented out for 435 euros. But
currently, up until
right now.
Until what date?
July, August is already completely booked out. Those are the 2 months we put on booking.com to check already the demand.
Yeah.
Because we haven't got July yet. We just testing it, but completely booked out, and that's quite cool for the hard numbers, as you mentioned. And for the 2-bedroom villa, we are looking at the lower numbers, 350 euros a night, 80% occupancy. We're looking at 4,300 euros a month net profit after expenses.
Wow. And what kind of ROI is that per year?
That's around 30%.
30%. Wow. Okay. It's impressive. Beach resorts, right?
Exactly.
Everyone wants to own some land on the beach. Cool. So we talked a little bit about the hard numbers. So let's talk a little bit about. Hold on, let me read it. Remote. That was the next one. So we talked about nightly, which is good. All right. So, Sumba's a bit remote, right? And the infrastructure might be lacking. Do you feel like this could be a limitation for investors or occupancy rates in the future, or what are your thoughts around that?
To be honest, I hope this stays always the same or how it is right now, because this is exactly why the people come here. The people don't come here to party big, to see so many different like offers and restaurants. They're coming here for the nature, for the exclusivity, for privacy, for relaxation. They just want to hang out in the resort, see some in the nature, go kayaking maybe,
Ride
horse
horses.
riding,
Yeah.
yeah, all these things.
Yeah.
But they don't want to have a ton of people around and a ton of shops.
Right.
This is exactly what made Sumba so special, and this is also why people are willing to pay so much money per night here. So this is why I hope it stays the same, but I also think so it will stay like this. Right now, funnily, we have the generators which are running. Every resort must have them because the electricity from the government is not reliable. This is the same way also in Bali. This is island life.
Yeah.
Yes, so the generators will be running up again because there's now some reparations. Most of the time we have the electricity. Sometimes right now at this state not, but of course until the opening this is 100% fixed.
What kind of
and finished.
generators are they? What brand?
Mercedes-Benz. It's generators by Mercedes-Benz, so
Nice.
quite the top-notch ones.
Yeah.
So in case like the government has to shut down the electricity for a couple hours, they will jump on, make a smooth transition, and the people won't even notice a difference. This is also, by the way, how it works in Bali. In Bali, there's also a couple times blackouts, so
Cool.
it's normal on an island. So
Yeah.
the only thing you can do is just make a smooth transition to your own solutions to this.
Yeah. So we highlighted the hard numbers. We highlighted why Sumba, like, why high net worth individuals come here for vacation, to chime in, to really dial in with nature. We talked about the leasehold versus freehold for investors. So what else? What else should an investor know? What does it look like to invest in a property like Arya Sumba?
Basically, I could guide you through the steps. Basically, after we have checked the availability because the demand is very high. For example, Sumba is already over 80% sold out.
So 150 villas roughly, and about 20 villas.
Oh,
left?
it's even less than 20%. Yeah, it's around. Yeah, it's like 20 villas left, which is like almost 90% sold out. So yeah, so after we check the availability, and you will choose your villa or your villas because most customers buy multiples. We make the contract for you ready. There it will state like the payment after construction progress, so in installments.
So they don't pay all up front?
No, of course not. It's after construction progress.
Okay.
Of course, here in Sumba, the payment needs to be done in a way quicker time frame because this project is close to completion.
Yeah.
Also, the down payment will be higher, around 50%.
But for other projects, it's less.
For the other projects, it's a little bit less, like 45%. Then we will have a payment plan after construction progress, and then handover, and then the renting out begins.
Okay, and what does it look like okay, so I bought a villa, right? Oh, I'm about to buy a villa. And what does it look like for an investor? Once they've paid in full, now it's delivered. Do you guys manage it? How do I get payments, etc.?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So first of all, with the payment methods, it's a good point. Investors have also the option to invest in cryptocurrencies, for example, not only in like US dollars, euros, pounds, and all the other currencies are also available.
So they can pay in cryptocurrency?
Exactly, they can pay in cryptocurrency. Also, the rental income can be paid out by cryptocurrency.
So they can invest with crypto and get distributions, or I guess profits from crypto as well.
Exactly, from the villas itself. And of course, the management from the company here will take over everything. It's a hands-free investment, very important. So you will not be need to do like anything. The company will cover everything from operational cost, management, marketing, service, utilities, all these kinds of things. They will also handle the tax.
Yeah.
Of course, we need to pay tax.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's basically completely hands-free. The only thing you need to have in the management contract is the bank account where the money needs to flow in.
Or the wallet.
Or the crypto address, exactly. And that's basically it.
And now can I stay, okay, I buy a 2-bedroom villa for what's the price right now? 150?
For the 2-bedroom villa, it's 179,000.
179,000, okay. And then, so I buy 179,000. It rents out for what, 350, 400 a night, roughly?
Exactly.
Okay. And then occupancy is around 80%. I know we don't have calculators here, but like a 2-bedroom would roughly profit 6,000, 7,000 a month, something like that.
Yes, exactly. So after expenses, when we calculate the lower conservative numbers, we are left with around 4,300 euros a month.
Okay.
If we calculate the numbers which we are running right now and of which we are booked out upon, it's around 40% more.
Okay. So yeah, around that number.
Around 6,000.
And the total profit split is like 60-40 for the investor, right? 40% to the expenses, 60% to the investor?
Exactly. We are calculating right now 50% expenses, but after the rental, it will be around 40%. We just would like to calculate always a little bit more conservative.
Yeah.
Because right now it's always hard to tell what the exact costs will be because some of the costs are variable.
Yeah.
So this is why we would like to promise less and deliver more.
And this is across the same strategies across all the products that we're going to talk about
all
shortly.
Of the products, exactly.
Yeah.
What we haven't covered yet is that, of course, all of the projects and villas are also insured against natural catastrophes.
Yeah. Catastrophes.
Catastrophes.
Yeah. Catastrophes.
Yeah.
Tongue twister. So yeah, there's insurance on all the properties.
Yeah, wait, let me do that again because we need to cut that out.
Okay.
Okay. What we haven't talked about yet is a very important thing, and that this is insurance. Of course, all of the villas are insured against natural catastrophes and vandalism, all these kinds of things, which we don't hope will happen to us, especially in Sumba. The risk is extremely low to these things because there's no like weather scenarios happening here.
Yeah,
but still, it's important to have. It's like a seatbelt in the car, you know. You know you can drive, but still you would like to wear one.
Yeah, I'm from Florida, so being from Florida, right? We always had hurricanes. So because Sumba or Bali and all of these islands, they're below the equator, that means they have no hurricanes, right? Well, I guess they could be cyclones, but are they protected?
It's very, very few scenarios which could come up.
Okay.
So in Sumba, there's close to none.
Yeah.
Bali had some kind of experience in 2017, so that was like 8 years ago, but barely anything happened there. So the risks here are very low, and even if something happens, we've got it insured. So this thing is solved.
And this is across all products, all projects, all the beachfronts, everything.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
So another thing which I would like to cover with you is Sumbawa. Yep. Because we've got a beach project there as well with similar layout and design as in Sumba, and it has very special key features. One of which is, first of all, you have to realize that Sumbawa is right where our beach resort is a very big island, like double the size of Bali, and Sumbawa has the highest population, the densest population area for whale sharks.
Wow.
So it's an absolute dream for divers, and it also has one of the most beautiful coral reefs in the world.
Wow.
And this is exactly where we positioned our beach resort. Another very important thing to note is that there's basically no competitors for us because we will be the only beach luxury resort on the whole island.
Wow.
There's only one resort right now at the beach, which is definitely not luxurious because it's like, you have seen the pictures, I showed it to you already. It's like bamboo houses close by, but they still charge around $250 a night.
Wow.
So there's a lot of potential also for our project. And if there's people coming there and they want to stay there a couple nights to dive, see whale sharks, etc., they have to stay then with us because we're the only options right now.
So right now they're taking boats there, right? From
exactly.
Bali, like 7-hour boat rides?
With a boat, they're driving there 7 hours.
Yeah, to go diving in this
To go diving,
spot.
and then they're driving back 7 hours. So it's a pretty hasty trip.
Can you only get there by boat, or is there an airport, or?
There's also an airport, and this is another special feature. This airport will open up, it's a new one, and it will open up this year. And it's the first international airport.
Wow.
Also compared to neighboring islands, because no neighboring island has that feature yet.
Yep.
So people can fly there directly, which is a very special feature. So basically, you can fly there directly with your airplane, land there, and we will have the only luxurious 5-star beach resort in all of Sumbawa, in front of the coral reef, where also all the whale sharks are.
And what's
so
the,
very special.
And what's the starting price for a beachfront? Well, not beachfront, for a beach villa. The starting price for that project.
To be honest, I don't have the numbers now in my head.
Okay.
But I know that these prices are around 15 to 20% lower than in Sumba.
Okay.
So we have still also glamping villas available, which are sold out here in Sumba. And these glamping villas in Sumbawa, they start around 100,000 euros.
Okay.
So we're also looking there at a similar ROI than in Sumba.
Yeah, and that development isn't going to be starting this. Well, it's already started, but it won't be complete until how long?
So the completion we are expecting in the next 12 to 15 months.
Okay.
Depending on the weather. So yeah, but this is still a very fast construction time, considering the size of the project.
Got it. So we got Sumba, which is almost complete. July, August, almost sold out. We got Sumbawa, which is a project with the diving, with the whale sharks, the reef, and the new international airport, which probably has, what, about 50% remaining villas?
Yeah, around 50% is still available.
Yep.
We just started the sales process. So.
Yep, so around 50% remaining villas. We got Lombok on the beach, very similar to Canggu vibes, really good infrastructure.
And very different designs in the villas. So it's also villas you would want to live in yourself, or at least what luxury villa design you're used to, for example,
More
from
modern
the US.
designs.
Very modern, very luxurious, very spacious.
In Lombok. And what's like the estimated starting price to own a villa leasehold in Lombok?
Lombok is our most expensive project, simply because the construction there is the most expensive, because it's modern design and very luxurious. So we're talking there around the starting price for a 1-bedroom villa for around like 160,000 euros.
Okay. So still pretty cost effective for
absolutely. When
beach
you're looking,
access.
absolutely. When you're looking at villas in Bali, 500 meters from the beach in the high populated area,
yeah,
you're talking for a 1-bedroom villa at least 150,000 euros.
Yeah.
But then you're 500 meters from the beach.
Not on the beach.
And you cannot charge that much money per night. And it's only 20 to 30 year leasehold, not 80 years. So there's a big
totally
differentiation.
Different investment, yeah. Yeah, so we've highlighted a lot of the main things. Oh, real quick. Most investors want the beachfront, like the front is the closest villas to the beach. I know we're sold out in Sumba. How many left do we have in Sumbawa and Lombok?
I'm gonna be honest, they're all sold out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I've got a couple beachfront villas.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm not willing to sell them right now, but of course, if somebody will offer me a very attractive number, I might consider it.
Yeah.
But of course, I've secured the last beachfront villas. We will have a very interesting project coming up, where there will be also beachfront villas, but very limited numbers. So this is the only project right now which is still available, but this is still in the baby steps. So the next couple of weeks that we'll have some
will
updates.
be divulged. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that. We don't want to give too much information. So we will have beachfront villas, but it's more high-end luxury, right? Like ultra luxury.
You mean the new project which we are planning?
Yes.
Yeah, basically we secured the land already. We will not
freehold. Yeah.
Freehold. We will only tell you guys that it's in Sumba.
Yeah.
And that we will compete with the top 50 hotels in the world. So this is the highest of highest. Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's no basically. No.
I don't think we can say much more, but there's a chance to have a beachfront villa in one of the most luxury places on earth. It's going to be very limited, and we look forward to sharing that soon.
Absolutely. Yeah. This will be fun.
Yeah. So as we wrap up, it seems like it's getting dark, and I'm getting eaten alive by some mosquitoes. Is there anything else you want to share as we wrap up the podcast?
Yeah, I would like to add that I've decided that I also come open with my family values as well, because with the company I've chosen the name EdenGate, and that's not by accident, because I truly believe that these teachings, for example, I don't want to sound cheesy, but like the teachings of Jesus about like the values and to be honest and righteous and like to be have integrity are quite cool.
Yeah.
And those are also the values lived upon by my family and their family crest by over 500 years.
Wow.
And those are also the values which we will or have already implemented into our company structure and philosophy. So I just would like to let this also known by the people who work with us, business partners, clients, investors,
Yeah.
friends, because this is a very important topic for us. Because through these values, obviously, we want to choose who we are working with.
Associated with.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know, in business, there are situations where you're offered very attractive deals on numbers, on paper,
Yeah.
but maybe you've got a bad gut feeling about that, or maybe you see, okay, these people might not be such so righteous with you, or
Yeah.
we don't know what they're planning in reality. So this is why we've chosen to be very loyal to these values, which are righteousness, integrity, and also loyalty to these values itself. And through these values, I think this was the real breakthrough for the company as well. And because there's no long-term business without these values.
I agree.
This is what we discovered also.
100%. That's a big reason why I joined on, and support the vision and support the journey here at EdenGate, and the developments are beautiful. We're out in Arya Beach Resort right now as we wrap up this pod. Things are about to go really, really fast. These villas are selling out really quickly. And contact us, if you have any questions, if you want to know our availability for these different projects. Because we're your gateway to paradise here at EdenGate, and we look forward to helping you find your spot. Yeah, let's
exactly. This is how it is.
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, thank you for all the information, and
thank you very much.
Let's go.